Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach Kodash, double honors unto the elder apostles, a great millstone, for the teachings of the scriptures among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now this is the book of 1 Kings chapter 7, titled The Palace Buildings. Now this chapter is a little bit kind of tricky, because I do know a few tricky scriptures that will make you think like, oh? Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 has one. Hosea somewhere in, I think Hosea 7 somewhere has one, and a few other places have scriptures that are written in just the mannerism. You're looking at it like, oh yeah, Amos chapter 9 verse, I think 14 or 13, one of those two. That one also. It's just written crazy, at least in the English, you know. So yeah. So, but that starts around here, which is the sub-chapter of the chapter. It's a subtitle, sorry, of the chapter. So the title of this chapter, well, the beginning chapter, the first paragraph, is the palace buildings. Verse 1, 1 Kings chapter 7, verse 1. But Solomon was building his own house 13 years, and he finished all his house. And that house that he built for the Heavenly Father was actually done in 7, which is completion. It's a perfect number, and he did 13 years. Right. He built also the house of the forest of Lebanon. He built also the house of the forest of Lebanon. So if you ever come across that in the scriptures or history, the Heavenly Father, you should know that King Solomon built that. The length thereof was 100 cubits, and the breadth thereof 50 cubits, and the height thereof. Okay, Lebanon is, if you don't know where Lebanon is actually here. Let me see. Sorry. Think here, and then so here's Tyre, and above that is Lebanon, which is this one. And here it says it here in the black, Lebanon mountains, but yeah, the purple is what they call nowadays Lebanon, but it used to be called Sidon. And then you had the sister city to Sidon, which is Tyre, which is down here. Right. So it says, and the height thereof 30 cubits. And I'm not gonna go into cubits because sometimes it says this and that. It's a measurement, but it's Esau has the truth, but he's being a demon, because sometimes he says here or there, and it's just weird. Just like how you have in America, they talk about foot and feet. What the hell is that, man? Everywhere on the planet Earth, everybody uses centimeters. They just want to be special. No, they just want to confuse things. If you read the book of 1984, you will see what these Caucasus are doing, what these Edomites are doing. And they've been doing that since, if you go, for example, to here, since the Greek days. Oh yeah, they took this away too. But anyway, so it says here, the names Syria, all the blue things, you should, you know, these are important. But anyway, I'll leave the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. The names Syria, Assyria, Mesopotamia, Babylon, etc. stem from the Greeks, who were not familiar with the true geography of these lands when the names first started to be used. Later, partially because of continued ignorance, and partially because of convenience, despite having accurate knowledge, so they kept doing it on purpose, because they're like that. That's why they keep on calling us Black Hebrew Israelites, even though we tell these filthy apes, listen, monkey, we are Hebrew Israelites. The Native Americans belong to us also as Israelites. The so-called Latins also But what they want to do is they want to keep on pushing that division, because they know that when the Israelites get together, they're going into slavery, and they know this. So even though the ones that don't know, the ones that ask questions on the street, they ask me or something like that, are you one of them black Hebrew Israelites? No, even those, subconsciously, they're still doing it, even though you tell them. But it's in the DNA of an Edomite, so it's in them. They persisted in using them since it would have required something of an effort to give up the old familiar names and divisions. So they don't want to give it up, and it is an effort for them to tell the truth. It's an effort for them to tell the truth. Sorry. Let me see here. I'll just do this then. Here. And division of the countries, and switch to the new ones, because they wanted to have the countries at that time. They wanted to divide these people by naming them something different. Look, people naturally are divided by themselves, but we all collectively know that we come from the same place. You know, for example, the Hamites, they all know that they're Hamites. Well, back in the days, but now they don't. Yeah, they still do, but still, how can I say it, man? It's still kind of different and stuff like that. Look, when you see an Ethiopian or a Somalian, you don't see yourself as a so-called person that believes that he's African while being a slave descendant. When you see West Africans, then you see, like, you know, these are, according to you, these are our people. And when they look at us, they think also, if they don't know, they think also, oh yeah, these are our descendants, or something like that. You know, we are linked to each other, soul ancestors, whatever. But I ask often these people from West Africa, I ask them often, like, when you see an Ethiopian or a Somalian, do you think of them as close to you? No, they don't. They don't. They look at you like us, you know. But anyway, and switch to the new ones, even if they were more accurate. It's not about more accurate, it's about being accurate. It's not more accurate. That's just, they're lying to you right there. What do you mean more accurate? You mean just accurate, right? Anyway, the old, true, single name of these lands is Aram. And this you can clearly find in the scriptures very easily. You know, I went over it already in other chapters, but just to give you a quick one, if you don't know, it's Deuteronomy chapter 20. Let me get it for you. I'll glance over it. I'm not going to read it. Deuteronomy 22, Deuteronomy 23, and what am I saying? Deuteronomy 20 and, Numbers. Numbers 22 and Numbers 23 and Deuteronomy. So Numbers 22 and 5. So Balaam was from the river where his people are, of the land of the children of his people. Balak is a Moabite. Balaam is a Shemite. Well, they're Shemites too, but I mean, like, these are from what is it, Arphaxad? I think Arphaxad. I'm not sure, but yeah. So let me just go on. Okay, the point is that his home is where the river is at. That river is talking about the Euphrates River. And then you go to wow, what am I doing? Numbers chapter 23. I thought it was the next one. It's actually down. Numbers 23 and 7. Then he says, Balak, the king of Moab, which is Chinese people now, brought me, Balaam, here from Aram. So he's telling you that where the river is, where his people is, he's telling you himself, where his people is, where the river Euphrates is, his people is there, and that region is called Aram. Okay. Now go into Deuteronomy 23 and 4. It says here, Balaam, which I talked about, that he's from the river, which is Euphrates River, and he's from the land which he himself called Aram. It says here, Balaam, the son of Beor of Pethor, of Mesopotamia. So what is Mesopotamia? Mesopotamia is here, where the river Euphrates is. This whole region over here, basically. well, actually more here, but still, is this spot. But in all, not this, sorry. This is called the land of Ham. As soon as you cross here, yes, here in the middle. When you cross there, you come into the land of Ham. When you are in this region over here, you are in the land of Aram. And it's also known in the book of Genesis 12 or 11 or even 10. I'm not sure. I think 11 or 10, 11 or 12. It says that it is called the land of Shinar. Let me see, Genesis 10, I know, but oh yeah, this one I wanted. Genesis 11, the land of Shinar. That's it. Here, it says here, the land of Babel. So Babylon, where is that? It's in the land of Shinar. That's the original name of that place. And then when Aram went there, he basically dubbed that land. And then everybody called it the land of Aram. But it's actually the land of Shinar. Just like how you have the land of Canaan. You had the Philistines there, but the Philistines come from Mizraim and they was not there. The Lord brought them there. And the Philistines, sorry, the Canaanites was already established there. As you can see here, the Philistines, they came from Captor. Where did they come? Where did they go? They went into the land of Canaan. But my point is that now it is known as the land of Canaan because Canaan, it was there. And Aram was there, but yeah, it's a bit, I hope I didn't confuse you there. But the point is, this is the land of Aram. And the land of Aram is in the Greek. It's called Mesopotamia because they explain it to you right here. The name's Syria, which is actually Aram. The word Assyria, which is actually Ashur. The word Mesopotamia, which is actually, it means something. It means this. It means the land between rivers. Here, between rivers, but it means the land, or you could say the rivers, but it means the land between rivers. That's what it means. Because if you go to other translations, yeah, the Fertile Crescent, yeah, that too. It's not Fertile Crescent right now anymore, by the way. Not as how it used to be back in the days. Yeah, it says here between rivers. Meso is mid. Potamia, which is rivers. So middle rivers or between rivers. But here you have another translation, which is the land between rivers. But that's coming from Quora, which individual people put there. I wouldn't take this website too serious concerning real information about history. But I do take it serious when you have, because this is an individual people site. You know, when you go there, you should expect to learn about people, their so-called customs nowadays, or people that are in different countries, and then you learn off of them. But when it comes to like biblical history and just history, you shouldn't go there. These people are just as bug out as people that believe in flying reindeers talking about. It's not about flying reindeers, it's about the love that you need to have for your family. Get the hell out of here. Why don't you, hey, you know what, let me leave that. Anyway, it's also called Sumeria. See, now they're going into different words because the caucus is bringing up these words. This is not in the scriptures. These people are actually people from Babylon, but they are trying to disassociate the dark-skinned people from that region. Even though, wait, I just looked up something. Now check this out. It says here, I typed in Sumeria word meaning, right? So if you go to these idiots on YouTube, they're going to tell you land of the civilized kings. Well, they're going to be, it's going to highlight it. But it says right here, the Sumerians themselves refer to their region simply as the land or the land of the black-headed people. And I got that right here for you. Going to the History Encyclopedia official site here, I get a lot of the truth from concerning what type of people were there. Like, for example, the Cushites that were not living in the land of Cush. They was living in Mesopotamia. I got that from here, but I got that from the scriptures. But here, they confirm it. That is my point. To prove it, you go to the history, prove it outside of the Bible. Sometimes, because you have faith, so you don't need proof, but other people do need proof. And here is where I get the physical proof from, at least for the Kassites, if I'm correct. Let me see, what type of website is this? History. Yeah, here, the forgotten Kassites. Ah, got it. Yeah. So here you can see that the Kassites, I lost all my my coloring thing, so damn. But this is mentioned in the book of also Judges chapter 3, but also Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2 shows you that here were the Cushites were here. And here were the Cushites also in Ethiopia, but the Cushites were here too, which is Mesopotamia, which shows you like, oh no, so it is here. Because the one of the rivers, the one of the 4 rivers of Mesopotamia goes through their entire land. So yeah, I have to color this because I kind of forgot where each what something was, but yeah. Anyway, all my coloring is gone, so I found a new thing. Damn, you know how many work I put in there, man. It's a lot of work I put in there, and it's gone. Fuck these people, man. But anyway, it's all good, man. Everybody follow with it. Anyway, so they called themselves basically black-headed people. But anyway, that's enough of that. So my point is that they will, like, for example, if I type in Egypt, you don't get people in your head. You get gray, like brown, not gray, sorry. You get sand color in your head when I say the word Egypt. This is what you get in your head. But you don't get this because this is what it used to be. This is what it used to be. Egypt. More greenery and stuff like that. It used to be that. It is not that anymore. But anyway, enough of this. But you don't get this in your head. You don't get these dark-skinned people in your head. Because that's what Esau is doing. Through, like I said, if you read the book of, I didn't read the full book. I read the summurary, which is the end of the book. Then I read what the book is composed about. And even that I didn't do everything. But I read, I think, what I think is the most important. At least I think it is. You know, I didn't read everything because I just went straight to the parts that you know, of the future and what they're doing and stuff like that concerning the language, concerning the history, that they change it, destroy it, and all that type of stuff. I lost all my coloring, so even if I go there right now, it's not really beautiful because I have to physically go read it again. I don't want to do that. So yeah, okay, enough of this. I'll leave this in the description box so you can check it out for air. Land is Aram. Collectively, that whole land is called Aram. It's mentioned numerous times in the Bible of the Old Testament, and Greek scholars were also familiar with it and probably described the population of these areas as Arameans or Arameans, or whatever you want to say it. Though seldom, as they usually continue to use the term Syriac, which is of Syria, which had been familiar to the Greeks. So they have been doing this since the Greek days. That's more than, how much? 2,600 years ago. They've been lying and just twisting stuff. The Japanese don't call themselves Japanese. That's another thing that they just made up. The Native Americans don't call themselves Native Americans. That's another thing that they just made up. You know, they W. Yeah, so, oh man. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, so let me just go on. Verse 3. So 1 Kings chapter 7, verse 3. And it was covered with cedars above, upon the beams, which are these things. Beams is what you built with and stuff like that. But back in the days, it was wood. To lay on 45 pillars, 15 in a row. And there were windows in 3 rows, which you just saw here. Well, if you watch the video before this, you will see here the windows in 3 rows. And light was against light in 3 ranks. I think it means like the shining went from one a room to the other room. If you watch these, I watch this guy often because he's funny and he's dissing these people. Haddad. He has this name of that region over there, which we're talking about, right? That region Aram, but he himself is from Iran, which is in the English they say Iran, but it's it's actually Iran, like Iran or Iran, whatever. If you watch him, then you will learn about certain things and stuff like that, and you'll what the fuck? You will also see that these people are overpricing you. He is just laughing at this. This is hilarious to just look at him and see him analyze these people, how stupid people really are falling for this bullshit. And this whole mansion thing is a facade. It's just fake. They selling you bullshit. They're selling you lies, man. But anyway, he's very good at that boat. He will teach you something about spotting stuff and decorating and not just decorating. I mean, sorry, yeah, that too. But I mean, like the lighting and stuff like that. Where to position the house in order for you to get good light in the house without, if you don't want to have maximum windows and stuff like that. He knows how to position the house good at what angle in order for it to have continual daylight shining throughout the entire house, even if you want privacy and stuff like that. So no stupid glass houses like fancy modern houses like this. You could just be like, what if any form of war kicks off, you're as good as dead, because like you're playing a lang a lang. What you gonna do? Like how you gonna come on, man? The bulletproof glass, really? Okay, you keep on believing that. Stone is still better. Look, this house is much better. Well, still got big windows, but still, this one is much better than this one for protection and safety and especially privacy. You really, it doesn't matter. Even if people don't live there, they could just come in your house, man. All they need to do is just jump the fence. You ain't got bodyguards there all the time. Here, you can break the glass, but still, let me go on, man. The point is that the light came in and all that type of stuff. Okay, it wasn't dark in there like a bunch of gothic people, like Esau does with his no window housing. Let me see. This is a devil. This is a devil. These are devils. They have no windows. That's how it looks. This is a 3D model, yeah, but this is the actual thing. But the 3D model took away these trees that are standing here in reality. They put vines or something like these vines. But anyway, this is a good example of hiding stuff with no windows and all that type of stuff. And yeah, this is a building with no windows, and then they have stuff like this in there. But I don't even want to look at that crap. I don't even want to look at that crap alone. So going on. So it says right here, and all the doors and the posts were square with windows, and light was against light, and 3 ranks. And he made a porch of pillars. And that is then therefore, where did I put that one? Here? No. Well, let me see. I had one. I don't think it's this one, no. Wait. Well, a little bit for just example's sake. This thing kind of here, as you can see it right here, this here in the upper left corner, this thing. Of course, it's not accurate. It's just a picture of how Esau says that it looks like, but it's somewhat to a certain degree. If you look at the scriptures, you'd be looking at this, you'd be like, yeah, they do got the 3 windows. They got here, from here to, if you stand here, you can see here through, you can see through it. You can see through it. Light shines through it from one side to the other. That's what windows do, by the way. And First, we had it in the tabernacle, which is the tent. The Ark of the Covenant was in here. Now, then the Ark of the Covenant was in there. Then Zerubbabel came out when we came out of slavery of the Babylonians. Then Zerubbabel made this one, which is similar to this one, because that's how the Most High wanted it to be designed. I think they missed the things here, so in the picture, because in the reality they would have had these windows also. And this one is what they call the third temple. That's not the third temple. That's Herod's temple. And what is it? It's actually Zerubbabel's temple dismantled and replaced by Herod's temple in the 19th century BC. And if you look at the history, I got pictures over here, by the way. If you look at I made this picture. I looked it up on Google. I typed in who built the second temple of the Ark. Of major importance was the rebuilding of the second temple begun by no, get the fuck out of here. Nobody is allowed to claim that they helped us with building the temple. Your hands stink, you leopard beast. You can't touch it because you're not supposed to touch it, because it shows you right here, Ezra chapter 4 verse 1. Now, when the adversaries, which are our enemies, and at that time it was also the Edomites, but it was also the Hamites, the other Hamites. Judah and Benjamin heard, the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity, because we came out of slavery from Babylon, because in the video before this I showed you that Cyrus, the Persian, he actually got us out of there because the Heavenly Father sent him to come take us. Let me go on. Captivity builded the temple unto Yahweh the power of Israel. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said, this is in 1st Ezra, by the way, chapter 2. Chapter 1, chapter 2, and so forth. And to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your power as ye do. And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, the king of Ashur. This is the king of Ashur. Sometimes they spell it Assur, and sometimes they spell it Assyria. Or sometimes they spell it with one H, like Ashur. But it's actually Ashur, which is in Genesis chapter 10. It's, all three are the same thing. That's the thing that they did here. Assyria, they changed into, Ashur, they changed into Assyria. They're playing around because, that's what these Edomites do. So, okay, and this is mentioned in the book of 2 Kings chapter 17. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 23 on down. It's talking about this. It's going to tell you. Which brought us up hither. And what the... Hey, wait a minute, man. Right, so I got this real quick. So it says here, 2 Kings 17:23, until Yahweh removed Israel out of his sight, because we angered him. If you read the rest of the chapter, you're going to see. As he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria, which is Ashur, unto this day. There's so many scriptures on that. I'll just tell you 1 Chronicles chapter 5, the 2 last verses. Read that. And that's not talking about all the tribes. That was just talking about the other 3 on the right side, which is Gad, Reuben, and the half of the Manasseh. Right. Because they started to worship the basically devils first. The idols first. And then the rest of them, they wasn't in the captivity yet. But eventually they went. But wait, I'm jumping too much. They got together back again, but and then, the fight happened between us, and then there were 10 tribes with Ephraim and 1 tribe with Judah, which is Benjamin. Yeah. And then you had the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom split up. And Levi was not named as a tribe, but they were a tribe, but they was not named as a tribe at that time. They was just called the Levites, living in the midst of all of us, because that was one of their blessing curse. Yes, I said it good. Their blessing, their curse, sorry. And then the Most High took that curse and made it a blessing, because because of their murderous ways, the Levites. I should maybe anyway. Let me just read on. Genesis 49 and 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. O my soul, come not into their secret unto their assembly. Just when they have their councils and stuff like that. I don't want to be around them. Mine honor, be not thou united, because they are forced to be actually not reckoned with. Well, it's reckoned with, but not in good spirit. For in their anger they slew a man. Actually, they murdered the whole city. Okay, and Jacob was not down with it. Why? Because they raped that man Shechem, which is also a city, but Shechem is a man, and he raped their sister Dinah. It's all of them. The others, their sisters too, but sometimes they have full blood sister of the same father and the same mother. And if I'm correct, Dinah was that one. I'm not sure, but you can double check it, because they said that he raped our sister. We can't. I'm gonna kill him. For in their anger, they slew a man, and in their self-will, they dig down a wall. I forgot what that was. Sorry. It might be symbolically, but basically, they. How you say it now? They burned bridges and stuff like that, something like that. But anyway, I can't recount this account for now. Let me go on. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. This is what happened to especially the Levites first and foremost. So this was their curse, that they had Simeon and Levi. And if you look at the map, you will see that Simeon was in the midst of Judah, surrounded, you could say. But yeah, so he was in the midst of Judah, not really 100% surrounded, but he still was surrounded on this side. And what was the other? Levites were all over the place. They were all over the place. They were, let me see something. The Levites were here all over the place. And then they were here, all the red places that you see. And it's literally in the scriptures in the book of Joshua, chapter 21. You know, so it says that, wait. Here, Numbers chapter 35, verse 2. Command the children of Israel that they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of their possession cities to dwell in. So that was a commandment of the Lord, because the Most High said, "I will." There was a curse from Jacob. You know, well, it's not really a curse. He just kind of cursed him, kind of, to a certain degree. And then you go to Joshua chapter 21, and then you will see the children of Kohath, which are the children of Levi. They they parted. They was parted. Then Kohath, Gershom, and Merari, the family of the Kohaths. Where did they live? They lived in the midst of this one, Dan, Asher, and stuff. Right? I mean, the children of Gershom. Oh, Gershonites. They lived in Dan. Wow. Manasseh, Issachar, and Naphtali. Kohath lived in Dan, the other tribe of the half of Manasseh, and in Ephraim, 10 cities. And the other ones, let me see, tribe of Simeon and Judah. And the other, Merari lived in, the sons of Merari lived in Zebulun, Reuben, and Gad. And yeah, there was that. You know, so it goes on and stuff like that. It explains where they was living and all that there. You know, so okay, Genesis. I don't know if I should be talking about this or should just focus on the chapter, because you know. Anyway, let me do that. Okay, what did I just click away? Okay, 49. Let me just leave that. I'll just go back to over here. So 1 Kings chapter 7 verse 6. And he made a porch of pillars. The length thereof was 50 cubits, and the breadth thereof 30 cubits. And the porch was before them, and the other pillars and the thick beam was before them. Then he made a porch of the throne where he might judge, even the porch of judgment. So you had like this one over here, for example. Back in the days, it was this. This was then the, you could say basically porch, the front here, right? And then later when we got that temple. Oh yeah, I think I was reading about the temple. When we got the temple, where is it? I'll just use this one. Then you had the porch here. You had the upper court, the inner court, and all that there. The great court, outer court. Yeah, so let me finish this one here. So, in those chapters you can read, in these chapters you can read about that and stuff like that. Let me read on. Second Kings chapter 17 verse. So we are carried out of that land unto Assyria unto this day, right? So Israel was carried out. Okay. And the king of it, let me read it again. Until the Lord remove Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria. I was looking at the clock. Unto this day. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, but I don't know. In English, they would see this as a F, Sepharvaim. Okay, let me go on. And place them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. So instead of the northern tribes being in Samaria, who was there? Hamites. So going on. So the Hamites were in Samaria. Remember that. And they possessed Samaria, which is a land actually for the Israelites, but they possessed it now since we went into slavery, as it says here, into Babylon slavery, and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not. Well, I don't need to read that. So it says right here, Matthew 5 and 6. Sorry, Matthew 10, 5 and 6. These 12 Yahushua sent forth. If you read the other verses, you will see it's talking about the 12 apostles. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles. So don't go there. And into any of the city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Why not? Well, you're supposed to save everyone, right? First and foremost, this word is not for the Gentiles. Second, it's not for the Samaritans, but why did later on they still talk to the Gentiles and still went amongst the Gentiles and talked to the Gentiles? And Yahushua himself went to Samaria. You know why? Because he can see your soul if you are an Israelite or not. Because here you had Hamites making children there in the land, but later on you had Israelite women, Israelite men that went there. And of course, the women, when they take seed from another man, you bring forth their bloodline in your womb. So those children are not our people. That's not the seed of Abraham. That's the seed of somebody else. And Yahushua knew that. So he told his disciples that didn't know, don't go there. I'm going to give you an example of a fact. When you came in this truth for the first time, you heard that you're not an African. Now, in your mind, my mind, I'm going to tell you about me. I now disassociated every African person in my mind and existence that we are not them. We are Israelites. We're not the same. But later on, when you start learning about this truth, you start figuring out like, no, they are Israelites too, among them. So now you started, your eyes is opening. Now you could look at people, be like estimating if he's an Israelite or not. Because when you come up in this truth, you don't know. You be like, everybody's a heathen. Oh, y'all going into slavery. Then you start finding out like, wait a minute. So if a so-called black man makes a child with a so-called Caucasian female, okay, cool. That child might look like the mother, look like, dead people and stuff like that. And then, but it needs to be a son, and that son, even if it's a daughter, is still an Israelite. But if that daughter go lie with another man, bye bloodline. So if your son grows up and then he himself gets another Caucasus chick, like an Edomite female with yellow hair, Well, your grandchildren is gonna look like a bunch. They're gonna look like your enemy. They get to kill them. No, because that's the seed of an Israelite. But when you come in this truth in the beginning, you don't know. You're looking at them like, no, you're an enemy. You got Gawker skin. What's up? What's up, man? What's the time, cuz? But then you start figuring it out, and all that. Oh, so that's how it works. Well, same thing Yahweh Shai did here. He told them, don't go there, and then he himself went there. He's not a hypocrite. The Lord is not a hypocrite. What? Why did he tell them don't go into any of the city of the Samaritans? Because the Hamites were there, and you're gonna talk to them now because our people looked like Hamites back in the days. I don't know if you don't know, but there was not a lot of so-called mixed breeding, especially with the Caucasus children and stuff like that, going on in the history of history itself. Let me give you an example of a fact. When you go to England, you will not see a lot of so-called mixed breeds. Yeah, those people over there, those West Africans over there, they don't mix a lot with the white chicks. In America, they do it. In the Netherlands, they do it. In, let me see, what more? America, Netherlands. Oh yeah, when you go to East Europe, they don't do that shit neither. But that's Caucasus people. Their level of racism is higher than West Europe. So most of the time they're not gonna mix with you. The white chicks over there, they want to mix, but their family, boy, their family might not. It's a 70-60% that they might not like you. It's even higher, maybe. I don't know. I never measured it, but the point is that I know of myself that the East Europeans, they do not like mixing around, and neither do the dark-skinned people in England, and also not in France. Not that big. They do it, but those are slave descendants. The West Africans there in England, and the West Africans there in how you call that place, France, they don't really mingle. They don't even mingle with slave descendants. Okay, so it's an American thing, and it's like a West European, especially Dutch thing. Because in Belgium, they don't do that shit neither. In Spain, they don't do that shit neither. Portugal, also not. Italy is fucking racist. Italians even tell me, like, hey, don't don't like Italians. They racist. Like, they filthies. They filthy. But anyway, let me go on. Okay, so basically that's that part concerning that. But Ezra chapter 4 first. The rest of 2. Esarhaddon, king of Ashur, which brought us up hither, after that we got put into slavery in Babylon. But Zerubbabel and Joshua, actually, which is Yahweh Shawai, which is Jesus, and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, Ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our power Yahweh, but we ourselves together will build unto Yahweh the power of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, had commanded us. First Ezra chapter 2, and also Isaiah chapter 45. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and Benjamin, and troubled them in building, because they're jealous, so they're going to block you. Nowadays, for example, if you want to come up, let's give an example. You had so-called black women and men and stuff like that trying to get back into the country music scene, and these devils, they be like, nah, this is white music, what the fuck you come and do here? Because they're blocking you. They want to block you actively. Here, they're offended. They're very offended. Why black country artists have said what black country artists have said about racism in the country thing. They straight up tell you that this is white. This is a white industry. That's what they straight up tell you. Woven in fabric of how racism became a marketing tool for country music. Yeah, because you got them thick racist songs over there. And if you try to get back into country music, which it was ours in the beginning, they're going to actively block you. Let me show you something. Yeah, you can pause the video. You have here all the music genres that sprung off of us, all the way down to hip hop, and then of course where we are right now is rap. You got now crap with a C in front of it, but they call it trap with T. Some of them songs is dope, but like hair a nigga, bash a nigga head in, shit, kill a nigga, chop a nigga head off, put him in a body bag, nigga, what? What the fuck is this? That's some cave monkey music right there, man. Why don't you put that KKK cape on, motherfucker? Like stupid man. I'm here to fuck up my own race. Here come to fuck up today. Get the fuck out of here with these people, man. And the fact that they're, but anyway, it's the Most High just putting curses on people. Like I'm gonna use, like how he used false prophets to destroy the rest of the people. Yeah, like that. Go ahead and follow that dumb shit. Anyway, they're blocking you actively from coming up in the business, in this business. This is just one. This is just stupid music. Music is just entertainment. Look, it's not 100% stupid, but in this world, if you're trying to get a record deal, you might as well basically learn how to suck and basically get fucked with no Vaseline. You better learn how to do that shit, because this is just ridiculous nowadays. Everybody and their mama should know, like, these devils got that they got that thing on lockdown. Why are you trying to be famous? Eh? Everybody's trying to be a YouTuber now. Love herself self. Everybody's trying to be a degenerate YouTuber pranking. That's not a prank. You need to get killed for that, for those things that they do. You know, Canadians have this show called Lawful Laughs or something like that. I clicked on a few videos. Those are some wholesome jokes. But then again, they do filthy shit sometimes, like picking your nose and then acting like they're eating it. Even if I know that the thing is fake, I can't watch that shit, man. Or eating poop off the street. No. But it's actually chocolate. No. They still got the carcass up in them, you know, the cave people. They still got it up in them. So I'm not watching. But I saw other ones that was decent, and I actually laughed about it. Like, it's funny. That's actually real. How you play jokes. But anyway, let me go on. And their logo is devils. Their logo, what is it? Some kind of logo, Canadian laugh. Just for laughs here. And what is their logo? Their logo is a devil. Look at it. See? So guess what they show you that they are? Come on, man. These people know what they are, but the rest of the world just don't see it. But it's all good, man. Once the devil has come down onto you having great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time, well, you're gonna find out. But anyway, so they are frustrating and weakening the hands of Judah and troubling them in the building, and hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose, which is the purpose to build for Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, so that they can serve Yahweh Bashem Yahshua by burning sacrifices in the temple and stuff like that, on the temple porch, courtyard and all that there. Because the temple is not for Yahweh. The temple is to burn incense. Sorry, not incense. Well, incense too, but I mean, like, to burn sacrifice unto Yahweh, to worship Him thus far. Because you worship the Heavenly Father every day, not just in one temple. How can a million Israelites go in that temple? And by the way, you was not allowed in that temple. If you come in that temple, you must needs die right then and there if you are not a Levite. Numbers chapter 1, Numbers chapter 18. Let me see, Numbers chapter... Numbers chapter 1, Numbers chapter 18, a few others and stuff, like explain to you that if you are not a Levite and you go, you die. That's why it was shocking that King David was allowed to eat the showbread. It was shocking for them, like, what? How is he allowed to eat that? Because he was not allowed, actually. But for the purpose of keeping the man alive, he was allowed. So that's one of the reasons also why they frustrate our videos. They make sure that your videos don't get seen. Because I'm not about numbers, but I'm just telling you the truth. Back in the days, I used to get, it's not about, I don't even talk about numbers. The point is, back in the days, you didn't have to look for me. You will just find me because my videos would be promoted unto you because of the circle, that you are interested in, and from there you can branch out, right? If you clicked on a video that has something to do with what I'm talking about, it will be suggested, hey, you ever heard of this guy? Okay. But nowadays, you are in an infinite loop. If you click on one stupid video, let's say you click on a prank video, like whatever, you're going to be in a circle perpetually forever until you die. You're going to walk around like what's it called? Ants. You're going to walk around like ants. I want to say mice. You're going to walk around like ants in a circle perpetually until death do you part with your body. But because the algorithm is now basically, it learns about you instead of teaching you about others. Because it's going to learn your habits, and then it's going to keep you in an infinite loop. Like, this is what you like, right? I'm going to feed you until you die and stuff you. Just like Hansel and Gretel. And then they're going to stuff you till you get fat. Then the witch comes to eat you. Because now you're done. All right? So let me go on. 1 Kings chapter... Let me see. 1 Kings chapter 7 verse 6. The length thereof 50 cubits and all that there. I don't know. Like I said, I already said it. But yeah. Inch, centimeters, I don't know. Because they're playing around. Beam, okay, cool cat. Made a porch. Mighty judge. Okay, even the porch of judgment, it was covered with cedar from one side of the floor to the other. And his house where he dwelt had another court within the porch, which was which was of the like work. Solomon made also an house for Pharaoh's daughter. I wanted to say it like that. For Pharaoh's daughter, because that he loved her. He loved her so much he made a house for her, whom he had taken to wife, like unto his porch. Right. Yeah, unto this porch, sorry. All these were of costly stones, according to the measure of hewn stones, sawed with saws, within and without, even from the foundation unto the coping, and so on the outside toward the great court, which I just showed you. Yeah, you had the great court, the outer court slash. So the great court was the outer court slash thing, and the upper court was actually also called the inner court. So it's here and stuff like that. Right. So going on. So it says here, and above. What did I miss something? Yeah, great court here. And the foundation was of costly stones. So the ground where there's that, in the foundation itself, even great stones, stones of 10 cubits, and stones of 8 cubits. I don't know. You can look it up, but it's going to give you different things from time to time. It's going to give you different things. So yeah. And above were costly stones. These are all gemstones. And gemstones are lava stones. They come from the ground, and you have different type of mannerisms, how they are created. They're called fiery stones. The stones of fire in the Bible. Fiery stones. Why? Because, I'm going to give you an example. Wait. This is how they look like when they are busy, being cooked, basically. And then they turn into this. Stuff like that. But you have different mannerisms and stuff like that. Sometimes his earth movement creates stones also. You have metamorphic gemstone formation with magma and all that, and then it slides up in there. That one. You have videos showing you how it is, because the children of this world, the children of darkness, because this world is full of darkness, are in their habitation wiser than the children of light. The majority of our people have no idea where this comes from. They have no idea how gold grows. Yes, gold grows on trees too. Esau put that thing out there talking about money doesn't grow on trees. Fucker, money is a tree. Actually, money is a tree. Money is a tree converted into paper with ink on it, faces of people that hate my guts. So, it is a tree. But anyway, I know this because I'm from Suriname. I don't want to boast because I hate that shit. Like, you boasting about a block that the Caucus done took over. Nigga, I'm from West Side, nigga, West Side. What? No more black, nigga. Oh, black. Anyway, I'm not boasting. I'm just telling you, like, I know there because I have family members that go out there. And you know what the funny thing is? Now I know. Back in the days, I always asked myself, like, why all the gold spots in Suriname, why do they always have malaria? And then I found out about this. Fuck this word. Released. I hate this word. This is a stupid word, man. I don't want to remember it. I just don't. I can't. First and foremost, and then I just gave up. Fuck it. I'm not trying anymore. GMO mosquitoes. Here, billions of them, billions. And this is just what they admit. So 750 million genetically modified, genetically engineered mosquitoes is GMO. Genetically modified organisms, or genetically engineered. They want to use fancy words, not engineered, like it's some kind of scientific. It is some kind of fancy. But anyway, here, this one. Why a U.S. company plans to release 2.4 billion? They plan? That was in 2022. Yeah, they already did that. Before they even announce it, they do it. But back in the days, they did not announce these things. So therefore, I believe that especially in the places where you have gold in Suriname, there you have these type of crazy diseases. Like, what? Where did the thing come from? Yeah, now I know. Now I know. 1 billion, 2.5, 750, Florida. All that there. They doing stuff. And if you want to learn what these things can do, well, not the mosquitoes, but what releasing animals can do into another environment. Cane toad. You should learn about the cane toad. So what did the Caucus do? They wanted to kill other insects there, so that for what? Money's sake. Because the insects were eating their crops and stuff like that. So they thought to themselves, I'm going to kill me some insects today, boy. Oh, let's go get the cane toads from America. And then they brought it over there to Australia. And now they want to kill them, but they can't because it's too much. You can't kill them. That's just straight up devil. They have invaded close to 70% of Kimberley. But the thing is, it's like a plague now. But they brought those things there. They brought them there from America. In America, you had natural things that would kill them, you know. Natural enemies. They had natural enemies. But in Australia, they get to grow real big. Because if you eat them, you die. Those animals over there, they can't kill them. They're going to die. This is what happens to them when they eat them. And you need this critter to kill other animals there before they become a pest. But if you kill them, and those other animals get to grow now freely because ain't nobody chopping them down. So now they're gonna become a pest and so forth, and you create a whole damaged area just because the greed for money. Now it's a pest, but in the beginning it was an introduction to rid them of another pest. It's all about money with these Edomites. They who destroy the world, the Most High is going to destroy them. So now these so-called scientists discovered gold literally growing on trees and make new. Shut up. We already know this going back centuries. I wasn't alive, but I know about it. I know that it grows under the trees here. It goes into the trees. Yes, it grows in it. Just like how it grows in stone. For example, let me not talk too much about this. Because it goes like this. It goes into the leaves and into the branches and stuff like that. But it also does this in stone. So let's say example. This stone was still stuck to the wall. Okay. Let me see here. Let's say it's here, right? And then this was just stuck to the wall. And then you come back, a year later, and then it's here now because it grows. That's what the. I don't know if this is real. I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. But this is how gold grows. It just grows in cracks and stuff like that, lumps. You know, all that there. It just grows. Just like how crystals grow. Crystals grow. You know. Just like how this grows, for example. This is because the water keeps on dripping down. So then a new layer forms every time. And before you know it, it's longer. And if you come back next year, or maybe 2 or 3 years later, this whole area might be shut off. It's going to take longer than that, but I hope you get the point. It can just shut out. You know, it can grow until here, until it reaches here, and then it's a wire, and then all these things turn into wires, and before you know it, it's a prison. You can't get to the other side. You can't unless you break it. But yeah, these things grow. But yeah, if you want to learn more about it, you could just Google it and stuff like that. But these are the stones of fire. They grow with fire, cooling, all that type of stuff. You know, they cool off, all that they melt, all these things, and then they come to the surface. Gems are formed. Oh yeah, it's also formed with pressure. You have different type of mannerisms where these stones of fire actually grow and actually form. Sorry, some grow, some form. They form and they grow. Both things. Right. So let me go on. Sorry. So okay. And above were costly stones, after the measure of hewed stone, and cedars, which are wood. And the great court round about was with 3 rows of hewed stone, and a row of cedar beams, both for the inner court of the house of the Lord, and for the porch of the house. And the porch of the house is this. So back in the days, you had this here from the entrance here until this here. So you see the curtains here? Okay, until this one here. That's basically the inner court. Yeah, you could call it like that. So, and then you had the other, had, because I'm reading about it right now, so it's half. But I mean, like, it's not here no more. This is the court, or I should say this one. This is the upper court. Then the greater court, yeah. But this is the upper court here, and near the porch and stuff like that. Just the empty space here, right? Okay. Okay, so so now I will go and do the rest of the video. So here is where it gets kind of tricky, but Lord willing, I'll get into it. Okay.